Yeah, we're back. Okay, part two, what to do with your mache. We're not building rocks today, so don't get your hopes up, because we're not doing that shit right now. We are, however, working on a mule deer. So, the mache I told you how to make, remember, blown insulation, the paper stuff, non-fiberglass, plaster of Paris, and yellow dextrin. Mix those three, whip it together, add water, and you're off and rolling. I think there's two general ways that I've seen to set skull caps with antlers. And we went over that, and one is with epoxy sculpt, and one is with rock mache. But there is a step before that you have to get a handle on. And I do my deer, I mean, everybody capes their stuff, or, you know, they try to cape it and they bring it to me, and most of the time it looks like Godzilla chewed on it and spit the shit out, because they don't know what they're doing. Get used to that. This should be called fixodermy, not taxidermy, okay? The object of some of these videos is going to be how to bail yourself out and to not panic, because let me tell you, I've panicked. Big panic. Big Mac attack. Like, no bullshit, the sweat. Like meat sweats, okay? Hopefully, once I start getting this really taken care of and we start getting a big library of videos, there was going to be something in here that's going to help you bail yourself out of the situation, because it's not if it's going to happen. No, it's going to happen, all right? You're going to have the tools and the knowledge to take control, breathe, and work yourself through it, okay? Now, back on topic. Mule deer. Okay? When these come out of the form, they have a little bit of release agent on them, and that makes them a little bit slick, and that's good. See, I want to look over here, which is bullshit, because the camera's right there. That's good for you, okay? That's good for us. So I use Bondo. I don't mix anything with it. You can put, like, you can cut up fiberglass or cardboard or like jeweler's grade tow or anything like that. You can put in it, and you know, to make it thicker or whatever you want. Just put a big patty of Bondo here and then inside the skull, okay? And then get it on there. Now, before you do that, let's back up a second. You need to make sure you have it cut right and tested right, all right? Now, I see a lot of mounts where people, we're looking at this angle on the bridge of the nose here, okay? And if you look at a lot of your reference, that main beam will follow this pretty close. Sometimes there's ever so bit of a slight tilt, like, you know what I mean? Like, this way just slightly, but for the most part, you're going to get that main beam following that angle of the top bridge of the nose. And I see people and their antlers are like this. I mean, incorrect, bro. So you want to get your skull cap trimmed. Sometimes I feel like less skull cap is better. You know, you want it sturdy, but you don't want so much there that it's impeding what you want to do, okay? A lot of these sculptors are like, they're super good, like alien good shit. So a lot of it's already in there, all right? And you have to take that into account. Get your skull cap where you want it. Make sure it's even. Make sure you're getting everything where you want it. Get your angle, your main beam right. Then you want to port holes into the skull cap. Okay, like this. Okay, and then I've recessed them, like I countersunk an area so that the screw tip will fit in there. Okay, then you want to put the Bondo inside there, on top of here, and then get her set up. Drop a screw in the back, get it set, drop a screw up front, and then let that Bondo kick. Now, when I do this, you don't, until you get really solid at it, you know what the hell you're doing, mix your Bondo pretty weak. Like, in other words, don't mix it hot. Okay, use a little catalyst, not a lot, so that you have time to adjust and move and get your screws in. And then, because the first few times you do it, you're going to be second guessing yourself. You're going to be tripping over your own dick trying to get it. I mean, it's just going to be a disaster. And then what's going to happen is you've mixed your Bondo hotter than a well digger's ass, and it's going to kick off on you, and you're going to freak out. Freak out, man! Stupid. If you'd have listened to me, I told you not to mix the shit hot. I told you to mix it cold. Slow, man. Take it easy. There's no rush. The animal's already dead, dude. It's not going anywhere. The customer will get his shit when he gets it, or she will get her shit when she gets it. Take your time. Do it correctly. So, once you get that done, and you're comfortable with it, you know, and it'll take some deer. I mean, it's taken me some deer. I still cock it up. I mean, I still find myself in a jackpot, like going, oh, God, Jesus. Okay? Now, with that being said, I mixed this hotter than the Pope's pecker. I mean, it was hot. It kicked off quick. Okay? Get it set up on there. When it kicks off, this thing will pop right off because of the release agent on here. This Bondo will kick off. It'll just slide right off. And now you've got this nice, what? That's what I'm talking about, okay? That's what you want. Now, you can, if you have a cape that's long cut, fine. And you can get it sucked on there, get it screwed on there, and go on about your business. But if you do shit difficult like I do, and I hate sewing, it sucks. It's the worst part of this job. It really is. I'd rather shit a pink pickle than to sew capes. It's gross. Part of the job. Where the hell was I at? What's the matter with you? Okay. So, shortcut, either like to here, or there's a couple really good, Mr. D.H. Price. I actually learned this from watching one of his videos. I'm not above learning from other great taxidermists, and he's a great one, and a huge Atlanta Braves fan. Super nice guy, really good taxidermist. So he has a video out there where he shows where you cut the cape here, like you would a sheep or a goat, and then go around and take your time and get it off, and then this all comes out. And when you mount your animal, you get the cape on, and this slides in, do it down, and you've got about 10 stitches in between. Done. What? Okay? So, I think that works a lot, unless the deer is really giving me a big pain in the ass of a time. And then I'll cut him a little bit short here, down, just to give me some working room. But that eliminates a lot of sewing. That being said, this deer, I did not cape. This deer is long cut, so I will pre-sew it so that I don't have to sew it when it's on the mannequin, because that's a pain in the ass. So it's going to be like a shortcut, basically. So I'm going to mache this, and that's what this video is about, now that I've wasted 48 hours of your time. I'm going to show you how to mache one of these really quick with the mache that we made on the last video. And then when that kicks off, you don't want to let it sit. You want to get it off there as soon as it's set up. Kick it off, and you're good. And then you can go on about it. And when it comes time to get this all sealed up and sewed up, this slides in here, boom, dum, and disco, bro. We're close enough for rock and roll. Okay, so once I get to this stage, Bondo's kicked off, it's all set up, everything's all ready to do. Then what I like to do is get me some 2.5 inchers. Now, I'd tell you that's 2.5 or 3, I can't really tell. And my girlfriend's not here to tell you whether or not it's 2.5 or 3. Like I'd know. I always measure from the wrong spot anyway. Giggity, giggity. Okay, so here we go. What I like to do is make sure that my drill is going the right direction, because only an asshole would try to put that in going the wrong way. I like to get this started. Hit it, okay? Get it sunk down where I want. Good. Then I'll put the back one in. Now, pay attention to this part, because a lot of you are going to end up watching this and ignoring me, going, this guy's a dipshit. And then you're going to do it yourself, and you're going to cock it up, and you're going to be like, well, this guy doesn't know what it's like. Okay, incorrect. You just didn't pay attention. So get it in there, make sure it's seated good on the front one, and then back it out. Just ever so little bit. Make sure it's set down, back it out. So what we're doing is we are, when we mache this, making sure that we don't plug up the screw holes so we can find them again. Ooh. Right? Brilliant. Now you could, I suppose, with anything, you could use like upholstery pins to stick in here or something like that. And I've done that, and that works just fine. There's no, you know, use whatever you want. See, so when you first get it in there, it's going to lift that up. So you want to get it back down, then back it off. You understand what I mean? Did you see that happen there? And you know, you're going to be constantly kind of rechecking. You know, I'm going to use, like on some of these, you don't even have to use a long screw. You could use a shorter screw. You know what I mean? All you really need to do is make sure that you're plugging that, you know, keeping yourself in a good position that you can mache around it, which is kind of a pain, but so you can mache around it. And wow, man, that tasted like fucking wet bologna. And maintain those holes so that when it comes time to you know, actually put it on for the last time, it's there. You know what I mean? And you don't have to search for holes, so it lines up. You know. There we go. So just back it off. Just a little bit. There we go. See, so these front two, spin this around. The front two here are, I barely backed them out, but that's holding me in where I want to be at. All right, these aren't really doing too much other than just giving me some security. You know what I mean? Do what works best, okay? You'll know when you're doing it. Like, this isn't, you know what I mean? If it's not holding, put it in, you know, farther. Okay? That's it. Not a big deal. Okay, so, mache time. Okay. Latex gloves. Okay, Doc, where do I put my pants? Jared, I'm your dentist. Okay, here we go. So, mache. Okay. Water. Mache. Pretty good. Little tongue depressor. Give it a little stir. And this stuff, you know, you think, oh, it's going to be too dry, and then you add more water and you've got, you know what I mean, soup. So stir every bit of water you have in it at first, and like I said, go in small amounts. Okay, that's what you want. I like to take it to where I'm like, maybe just a little thinner, and then just add like a teaspoon of water, and like think in tablespoons of water. Okay. All right. So you remember what I said on the last video is you want it to look like oatmeal. You know what I mean? You should look at it and go, oh yeah, diabetes. Okay. That's it. Once you get it there, you rock. Time to rock. Okay. So slather this shit on here. get it on. Be controlled. You don't want to make a huge mess, but we're thinking skull shape. So you don't want it, you know, wadded up like he's got a fucking bowling ball on his head. You know, follow the contour. Study your reference. That's what it's there for. Pinterest, Google, all the taxidermy sites have books. You know, all that shit. I mean, the resources are out there. You don't have, you know what I mean? It's all there. You know, the Animal Atlas of Anatomy has skull shapes. You know what I mean? There's cranial shapes. I mean, if you're doing taxidermy, I would say there's a fair chance that you've got a deer skull somewhere that you can look at for shape. Okay? Take pictures when you're skinning your animal, when you get it out. Okay, this mache needs to go all over, down onto the front and everything. Now, you don't want it to run all the way down onto the, get off me, you bastards, slamming this stuff everywhere. Just took a shower too, gnarly. All I'm doing right now is just wadding this on here, giving me some actual material to work with, and then I'm going to get out those little two plastic little tools, little palette knives that I showed you yesterday. That's it. Okay, so like I said, I'm just getting it on here. I just poked myself in the forehead with that tine. Did you guys see that on camera? That's great. That felt wonderful. Really, I could stand to do that a couple more times today. I'm just getting a good amount on here so that I can come back through and smooth it all up, get it all in there. Anyway, I'm sure that you've got deer skulls. You know, look at the anatomy of it. You don't want to overfill it. You know, use what you know, your knowledge. You know, look at the pictures, look at the actual skulls, and use the sculpture, you know, as some guiding lines. You know, I mean, you don't always want to trust the sculpture, but for the most part in these head forms, you know, they're going to be pretty damn close. All right. I mean, you know, you don't want to have the paper, you don't want to have the mache clear bulked out over here when that's not the case. You know, nature doesn't work in straight lines. Everything's going to be round and smooth, function and purpose. You know what I mean? What's the deal here? This is his skull. It's going to be wrapped in muscle. It's surrounding the most important organ in him. You know what I mean? His brain. So it's going to have, you know, it's got purpose, shape, aerodynamics, you know, everything. It houses, you know, the ears run into it, all of that. I mean, and that's really kind of taking it to a level that doesn't need to be taken to, just simply because we're dealing with just a skull cap, okay? But, you know, if you really want to take it serious and do it correctly, then, you know, you need to kind of think like that sometimes. And then it just kind of becomes second nature. Mostly. I mean, every deer is different. Every one. No, even if you do the same process, every time you do the process, it's going to be different on a deer. Something's going to pose a different problem, and that's where you have to learn to work yourself out of that kind of problem. You know, see your way around it. See the end product. Know how to get through it. This mache, you know, I guarantee you, I'll find other ways to use this. You know, beyond just making rocks and habitat stuff and doing skull cap stuff. Okay, so I think I've got enough wadded up on here for the most part, maybe a little more right there. I can feel it getting a little bit tacky, and that's okay. You can still work it, even if you think, man, this shit's really set up. It's still pretty workable, honestly. You just have to muscle it, cuss at it, do whatever you're gonna do, you know, but it's still workable. It's not all is lost. Unlike Bondo, when that shit kicks, it's over. You know what I mean? That's you're done. Your time is up. You're out. No bitching, no complaining. That's it. Okay. This stuff, don't let it harden in what you can. If it's flexible, you can let it harden. It'll crack out. I highly recommend against it. So I'm gonna dump this shit. Go. All right. That's smart. Okay, palette knife time. I actually keep a little water here and I just dip that in the, it just gives me a little bit of extra smoothing. Okay, so this is one of those parts I knew I was going to get to, and I kind of got ahead of myself there. Right here up around the antler burr, you want to have that full because there is a decent little amount of muscle that runs there. But you also need to leave room for the hide thickness, okay? And when I mount, and we'll get to that, I'll do little series of videos here on this deer as I'm doing it in little pieces that I think may help you out as far as what things that I had questions about when I started. You want to leave room there. If you don't, you're going to be screwed. All right? Like major league. So you want to leave some room up in here, or at least make it thin. You know, same with above the eye. You don't want to come down on there. We're going to have clay there. You know, we're going to build that up with clay. Just, you know, have fun with it. This is pretty fun, this part. You know what I mean? It should be pretty low stress. Make it look nice. You know, make it smooth. And there, if you feel like you're getting a little tacky, you know, get a little water on that bitch. You know, there's nothing, you know, nothing gonna hurt. We're far from anywhere from where, you know, you do something it's gonna ruin it. Not even close. You know, that's not even in the playbook. You know, you're not gonna ruin anything. You know, if it's too thin when you're done, mix up another batch and do it again. You know, that's fine. Keep smashing this shit around. Get it smooth. In between those screws takes a little bit of finagling, you know. That's all it is. I think I want to use a straight one. Yeah, that's better. Gives me a little nicer. Use what tool works best for you. That one was doing okay, but wasn't great. You know, this one seems to, the straight inline one seems to work a little bit nicer for me. Allows me to run a smoother edge, I think. Try to keep it even. Don't make it, you know, this shit is inherently lumpy because of the paper pulp in it. But it smooths out good enough, you know what I mean? If you're going to add muscle and stuff like that from your ears, a lot of this is going to be kind of covered up anyway. You know, make sure you get it up back behind the antler burr, in front of the antler burr. Feel like I'm a little bit thick right through here. Don't be afraid to use your hands too. Shit. You got them. Use them. Sometimes you'll be able to feel a little bit of a thicker spot if you do that. Use your hands. You know what I mean? There's nothing. Like I said, there's no positively certain 100% way to do this. Okay, just get in there and do it. Don't be afraid to do it. You know, be positive about it. Be confident about it. If you piddle shit around with it, it's going to eat you alive. You know, you have to just get in there and do it. Don't, I mean, I am the king of over-analyzing, you know, what I should be doing. And then you end up at freeze point, you know, you're screwed. You're done, you know. It's over. You just overthink it, and that's that. And the game is lost. You know, that doesn't need to happen at all. This is so easy. It should be fun. I mean, you know, this is like a kid making a macaroni sculpture for, you know, kindergarten shit. You know, this is nothing. You know. I always check from the back. Like, for some reason, I seem to think that, and this may be true or not, but I seem to think I can see like the evenness from the back better, you know, than other areas. Right there around that antler burr, I'm a little bit, there we go. That's really important, that antler burr area. I mean, do not wad a bunch of shit all the way up to the top there. Make it full, but don't overdo it, because if you do, you're gonna have one hell of a time when it comes to putting the hide on with, you know, around those antlers. I mean, it is gonna screw you up. You're gonna be madder than a rattlesnake, and I'm not shitting. Give them a couple sprays. Now, if you seem like you're really good at this, you're like, I don't need 25. I took that guy 10 minutes to do that. I can do that in 5. Okay? Well, put down your bush light and put your money where your mouth is. You know what I mean? It's not a race, dude. But if you're that guy or that girl, you can mix salt in with your mache, and it'll kick you quicker than a 3-pecker billy goat. Okay? Like, it'll go right now. Warm water will help that too. It'll kick you fast. If you want it to slow down, add some borax. Mule team. Mule! Okay. So, mule! Slow mule. Fast is salt, okay? I recommend you don't do either. Mix the shit the way I told you. Do it the way I showed you. Remember, when it gets hard and it's done, pull it off of there. Easy. Be easy. Just snap it off. Set it aside. Let it cure up, and you're done. Go on about mounting your deer. Here you go. Let me turn this camera around, because that's a pain in the ass to try to do. That's it. That's all there is to it. Sorry about that. You can see I'm getting ready to do some details on the face. So let's look at this together here. If I can get this son of a bitch to focus. There we go. Okay, so I've got a little dimp right here. Now it's starting to get hard. The mache, pervert, the mache. Just push on it a little bit. You're good. There's the back view. This is a Montana mule deer. One of my very, very, very close longtime friends' son shot this. I think it was his first muley, so it's kind of a fun deal to do for me. There you go. Let's get a frontal view of that guy. Pretty nice looking. There you go. Okay, he's ready to get to town, and we'll get him mounted. Next video, maybe we'll deal with some face detailing, some things like that that maybe you haven't done before, and I'll show you the easy way to do that. I've already kind of started here, but I'll show you the tools I use and that sort of thing. Sorry the video ran so long. Thanks for showing up. Be well, everybody. I'll talk to you soon.